Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Members, if you would, take a look at the minutes. There's a
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, minutes are adopted. Ms. Standridge, item number 1 under new business, general budget revision number 15.
Yes, thank you, council. This first general fund budget revision is a request to use insurance proceeds by the fire department. They had a few uniforms that were damaged in a fire event, and so we have gotten insurance proceeds from that. They then repurchased those uniforms from their regular general fund budget operating accounts, and so they're requesting to use the insurance proceeds in the purchase of a vehicle that needs to be replaced. The amount is $63,000 that we are requesting to take to recognize an insurance proceeds and put in their equipment line item. So they would have to purchase that vehicle in the next couple of months. Chief Delk is here to talk about any operational decisions that go into that.
Sure, Chief. Tell us what uniforms cost $63,000.
These were actually, they could be termed uniforms. This is actually turnout gear. So not the uniforms that you're probably thinking about, the dress shirts and stuff like that. This is protective gear. So,
Okay.
it's
What
got
happened?
thermal layer, moisture layer. And so these are pretty expensive pieces, boots, things like that that were ruined by the products that were burned. It was the Pet Boys fire that this was ruined in. And so I think they had gone out of business. There was a little, there was some stuff out there, whether it was insurance was gonna pay these or not, because we did have to absorb the cost of those guys that responded out there in the turnout gear that was ruined. We attempted to clean some of it. It was past the point of cleaning.
Gotcha.
How many uniforms did that go?
There was 12 sets.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow.
So that was from all the first two companies that were there that made entry on that building and tried to do the best they could.
I remember reading
Right.
the report on how big.
And so there was
the fire
oil,
was.
rubber
Yeah.
think about all the stuff that would be in a mechanic shop that was burning, that was exposed to. And so we didn't want to put our guys, and you don't ever want to put guys that exposure's in their gear into
Okay.
another environment like that.
Gotcha.
All right, thank you. Any other questions, comments? Not, is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item is approved. Item number 2, water and sewer reserve for future improvements, budget revision number 7.
This is the $7 million in the 10-year plan projects discussion that we had last week for the water and sewer budget adoption. So if you'll recall, there's $7 million in the 10-year plan escrow amount that is on top of what we are needing to pay for debt service from the I can't pull words today. From the rate increases that we've done over the past 4 years, those projects are the Mercedes Force Main lift stations for $1.2 million, the Phase 3 improvements for Fletcher at $2.3 million, the Hillcrest tank rehabilitation at $1.2 million, the outfall line replacement at $1.7 million. Expansion of the sewer betterment at the airport runway for $400,000, and the Line A raw water main repair at $150,000. All of that totals up to the $7 million that was presented last week.
Okay, as we discussed and we went through the machinations of how that $7 million is arrived at from rate increases, and any questions or comments?
Which I couldn't pull the words today.
No,
for.
no,
I'm
I
so
couldn't.
sorry.
I couldn't hear it
You get
again.
a comment, don't feel bad. I couldn't remember. I sat there. Did we get a bomb?
No.
So don't feel bad. I'm there with you tonight. Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item is approved.
Thank you.
Where are we? Item number 3, Ms. Standard's authorization to contract with Warren Averett for PL 113-2 audit services.
PL 113-2 is a fancy way of saying the 2013 CDBG disaster recovery grant. Back in 2013, we were awarded a second round of disaster recovery grant that was for $43 million. Within that grant funding, we had a requirement for certain internal audit review services that were required to be able to maintain compliance within that grant. To be able to do the internal audit services, we contract out with Warren Averett to perform these, and the total amount that we need to do for the new contract year is $25,000. It's the exact same price as it was the last 3 years.
Okay, and you and I discussed on the phone, at what point does that legacy requirement for audit eventually leave us?
Yeah, so as soon as we do closeout, so we have spent all the money and we are closing out with the federal government, this specific requirement will sunset. We will still have other compliance reports that we have to file with federal government for that exact grant, but this specific one will sunset at that time. And the grant does pay for this contract completely.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item is approved. Item number 4, Mr. Herbert. Resolution to obtain stop-loss insurance coverage from Highmark for fiscal year 26.
Good afternoon,
Good
Mayor and
afternoon.
Council.
Good afternoon.
This is a request to select Highmark for our annual stop loss coverage. We've had Highmark for the last couple of years. Stop loss is the insurance that we have for our health insurance. It helps to protect our health insurance against catastrophic losses so that if we have high dollar claimants, which we do have high dollar claimants, it will help protect our health insurance so that the stop loss will pick up and cover on that.
And then what are these in the table that
Yes,
somebody
sir.
has passed out to us? Do
So-
you want to go over these and what they are?
Okay, so currently, in that first column, you'll see what our current coverage is for this fiscal year. We have a $300,000 deductible, and that is per individual that's covered on our plan. And then $125,000 is just a deductible that the city has on the plan overall. The contract basis is for the 12-month period that our coverage ends. If, say, we get a late claim in, that's within 60 months prior, the stop loss will pick up that claim and cover it. And then, of course, medical and RX claims is what's covered.
So are we expanding the contract basis?
Yes, Highmark is going to expand the contract basis for us.
Okay.
And then 1,170 is the number of contracts we have. So we have approximately around 300 employees and dependents that are covered by our plan, but it's 1,170 contracts. And then the rate, that is the rate per employee contract per month. So currently it's $49.45. If we were to renew exactly what we have, it would be $69.23 a month per contract, but we're asking to go with option one. It's still under Highmark. The deductible is just a little higher. And the reason we're asking for that, we take a look at the number of high dollar claimants that we have, and then we also look at the diagnosis and see if we will continue with those high dollar claimants. Based on what we are seeing so far, we feel like some of these claimants will continue to get treatment that will exceed the amount of the deductible and the aggregate specific deductible.
Okay, members? Comments, questions?
Looks like it's a good recommendation to me.
Thank you.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item is approved.
Favorite. Item 5, Chairman Bowden.
Item 5,
Helicopter.
discussion regarding helicopter insurance coverage. Go ahead, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, sir. It is with a little bit of sadness, Mr. Busby, that I present to you the last discussion of helicopter insurance here at the city of Tuscaloosa. As you're aware, we are sunsetting the helicopter unit that is expected to be completed by December 31st of this year. Our helicopter insurance was due to renew before then. We've reached out and been able to secure an extension of our current policy through January 1st. So rather than having to get a full, our last policy was $52,400 something. Rather than having to get a full $52,000 policy, we're going to get a $7,600 policy to get us through the end of that unit. And if this committee is good with that, we'll have that resolution prepared for next week.
And this will take us through when, Mr.
And it'll
Holmes?
take us through January 1st.
Through January 1st. So if we need to take over any small countries, we need to do it before January 1st.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of options.
Pickens County.
Any questions or comments? Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item is approved. Item number 6 is my earmark for short-term memory, and I have none today. Is there anything anybody wants to bring up on the committee?
Before we adjourn,
Sure.
can we give the mayor again, maybe give us a little overview of next week?
Sure.
Please, Mr. Mayor.
What you will see is a budget that I think is going to be, trends a little more positive than we anticipated probably a month ago due to revenues.
It's gonna be what, Mayor?
Going to be a little more positive than what we anticipated, probably 4 to 6 weeks ago.
Positive in that there's more revenue to
More on the
disperse.
general fund side, a little, when I say more revenue, I'm not talking about significant portions of revenue, just marginally a little bit more revenue than what we anticipated. Since we're presenting this 2 weeks early, we do think you're gonna have possibly a little bit more revenue to work with than what we had in presenting this budget. And so we're compiling a list of things that we think you should put into your consideration with those revenues that we just couldn't include because we had to have a balanced budget. It is a very basic budget. Many of you came in 2021, we probably were handed the most complex budget, one of the more complex budgets the city's ever had. This one, by comparison, will be one of the most even keeled. The most important thing in this budget to me was making certain that we continued our march towards RSA. We've been able to, in our budget, and I can't say enough about Ms. Dandridge and her team, they have been able to hopefully reduce the amount of budget cuts we were planning. I think you'll see that in my budget presentation. Been able to identify some revenue sources that we've been able to plug in to help us meet our obligation that we showed the rating agencies of those $4 million that had to be dedicated for RSA conversion for this year. So what you'll see is their good work that I'm going to take full credit for, but they're the ones who did the real work in doing that. Again, there's going to be nothing in there that I think you're going to go, wow, this is complex, or this is something that's really new and dynamic. RSA is our goal, and that's where we're solely focused on. There are a couple of things in there that have more of a big ticket item. One would be looking at some AI opportunities that we would like to invest in. We'll be talking about that. The other is security, just overall security. When I say big items, nothing compared to what y'all did today in Projects Committee. But for this budget, when you look at this budget overall, it's in that realm. Ms. Standards, can you think of anything? I'm ad-libbing here.
I think that pretty much covers the major gist of it. I think that the main focus area was investment in employees, and the concern for inflationary aspects of the economy. And then I think any of the council members that went to New York with us and saw the plan for RSA conversion and the $4 million per year influx that needs to happen into that plan, that is being taken care of for fiscal 26. We were able to get that in, and that really is the main crux of what the budget is going to be about.
So I think overall you will be, I believe you'll be very satisfied with it. There will be a couple of things. One is looking at line of credit on Noah's Ark. How might that be structured? The only other major new item that will be in there, not to make a spoiler alert, is Freeman Park and Freeman Park Pool. Mr. Eatman and I have been doing some work over there, and I'll have more to explain about it next week, but I I think we probably need to move up some timetables on that. So that'll be, in the budget, and we'll be happy to talk about it, Savings Center and those types of things.
Thank you,
Savings Center,
Mr.
what?
Mayor.
Savings Center and just, again, it's not, compared to some of the budgets we've had in the past, it's very focused, frankly, because of the budget process or the planning process that we've really since 2021. And you shouldn't have given me the floor, because now I'm gonna preach. In 2021, this council made a decision on a couple of fronts. Number one, we wanted to tackle the issues within water and sewer. And number two, we wanted to invest in our firefighters and police officers and get them to RSA, plus get them top of the line pay in our state. As best as we could,
Was to get them what?
top of the line pay.
Check.
Not necessarily, we may not be the top in every category, but certainly in the upper echelons. And we started planning for it. And everything that we've done, from the creation of the Public Safety Fund to the creation of the Capital Fund in the water and sewer, and every year we've been planning and building methodically, which is why we held on to our credit rating. That's coming to fruition now. And that's leading to some boring budgets. But that is a lot of great work that took place back 5 years ago. And Ms. Standridge, really, her team, and y'all deserve the credit for your leadership on that. And that's, to me, I'm very proud. This budget will be very kind of plain. We should be very proud of it, because we're tackling some big issues, but doing it methodically. That's going to help our community in the decades ahead. So you shouldn't have given me the floor, but
Always happy to hear.
Mr. Busby, we spend months and so much time and effort. We take a lot of pride in it. And so thank you for letting me say a few words on it.
Can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Chairman, what is your thoughts of how we will proceed once we receive the budget from the administration? Are we planning on kind of doing as much as we can in committee? Are we gonna plan on having a work session kind of like we did the other day, one afternoon, maybe in the next couple, 2 or 3 weeks? I mean, that would, for me, that'd be preferable, but that's, I mean,
I'm
there's 7
thinking
of
we,
us
I
in
forget,
administration.
2 or 3, 4 years ago, I think we scheduled something like 2 full days in the council, in the main council room as a work day. I don't believe I want that beating again, but it was important because a lot of this, and we only have one new member, so 6 of the 7 have seen this before, and so I'm just going to schedule the new council member for 2 days of budget.
Let him interview the 40-plus agents.
Mr. Crowe, I do think, there are pockets. So if as advertised, this comes through as a dull, plain vanilla budget, no, that's great. There's still some pockets in there that I want us to have the time to go down into. And the 45-minute, Tuesday afternoon committee meetings is rarely, I always feel that it can't run over because we're eating up somebody else's time. So, Ms. Crowe, I will probably schedule at least 1 or 2 2-hour sessions during the week
think
as
that's
work
okay.
sessions.
Those morning sessions y'all do can be very, I like it. When
I've still got my brain in the morning.
It helps us when y'all have a focus, because then we can prepare for your focus. And I would say agencies, again, is one of those, we really rely on the city council. I don't suspect any agency is gonna love my budget. And
Good, then we're gonna
do they-
accept
do they
your
ever-
I was
recommendation.
gonna say, in 20
Do
years,
they ever?
no, there's never enough money, and there's always more that can be done. And if I were them, I would make, by the way, that's the same argument our departments make, so but I think it's very important, several of the large agencies, I really think it's important to spend some time in front of. School system, EDA, PATA, I know my TTS, library. Those are extensions in many ways of, in some cities or most cities, many of those things are underneath them. In our case, those are things that we work with our partners on. I don't think it would be a bad idea for them to come meet with you all as well.
Can I ask a crazy question? I mean, just, if we had an afternoon work session, I know that we do not have council plan would not for September the 2nd. And I know that's a time that people are off and vacations. I kind of wonder, Mr. Chairman, if that might be a day to have, again, if people are here, I don't know, people may be gone, I don't know, to have agencies or have something or try to figure out, if not that day, I get it, we're supposed to not have, but that we kind of just work around everybody's schedule to say, maybe we have one morning session, or maybe we take if we can take a whole Tuesday, have budget stuff all morning, have in the afternoon here.
I'm not against a work session. I'm not
Yeah,
against a
work
morning
session,
work
or
session.
figure
Morning
out-
work session, I can think more clearly.
Yeah.
Now,
And I think that'd be fine. It's just,
I
We
would
can do
look
it all
more
in
at,
one day.
at
That's-
2 couple of hour morning work sessions. And we may not need all that. Let's see what comes out next week.
Yeah.
And then.
'Cause I know
but
a lot of-
certainly willing to do that. I'm not gonna, one year we did all, was it 35 agencies? That alone
yeah,
was
that
2
was,
days. And
that,
That was just brutal.
but
But it did
think
force us through getting to know those agencies.
this,
Yeah, I
this
think
may
that
be a
too.
bad statement, because I couldn't remember that we took out a bond, so, but my memory, Carly, help me here, was that we did a lot of agencies in finance. In our normal
We
time,
did,
even if
we
we
did
could
funnel some
stretch
of
that a
those
little bit, the
through.
last few years,
Particularly
we've done a
the
lot
big
during our
ones.
regular time in the finance committee.
But here's what I want to be careful of on that. So we all of us have our pet agencies, okay? We do. I want to focus on getting the big ones through, and then let's see what's left and who wants what before asking for it on the agenda. Because whatever we do for one or two, we're gonna have to do for the others. And all of a sudden, that accordion's out and there's no time for anything
One of the
left.
things, we each year don't meet with every agency.
I know.
But the agencies that we meet with usually are the bigger ones that we have questions. And we don't do the, where they come in and they show PowerPoints about all the great things they do, because certainly we know they do great things, otherwise they wouldn't be receiving significant funding. We literally get into a financial discussion of your balance sheet, your reserves, the number of employees, no different than we treat a department. And I think that's a good thing, and I think that would be good for the council, because as I told one of the agencies, they were like, well, this is tough this year. Why are you asking even more questions? I said, well, we call it Tuesday at City Hall. I mean, every Tuesday, y'all should ask us questions about what we do. I think it's very good we do that with the agencies, because I think it makes them sharper. No one likes to be questioned. I don't. I know our team members probably don't, but I think it makes us all sharper, and I think that helps too with the agencies as well, that they see, well, that's just not Maddox there who's being a pain in our rear end about this issue. It's the council as well. So I would encourage you, the bigger ones, especially. There's a couple that I think we need to. You're going to see a couple of things, right? Pair will be a little bit different, because last year we didn't subtract out the parks we took over. This year we're subtracting out the parks we took over. We also have the issue of the Arts Council. You are aware that the Arts Council, that Para now no longer funds the Arts Council. So you're going to see that, and we had a very standalone, and we had a very good. We met with Para for about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
A really good meeting, a very positive meeting. But it helped us understand a lot of what they're thinking. Tuscaloosa Public Library, as you recall, last year, we all three shook hands. When I say we all three, the 3 local governments shook hands that we're gonna fund the 5-year plan. And to this council's credit, you funded it. Now, I'll leave it at that. So this year, we had to have a discussion of, well, you know, we're committing to the 5-year plan, but if this is truly a metro library, then where does everyone else stand? And you know, we all shook hands and agreed we would do this. I think it's really good that you answer those, you're part of those same questions. Why do we fund this library, this and this, that? Those are good things. So I've talked way too much, Mr. Busby. You shouldn't have opened it up to that.
Well, that's all right, I'll learn.
But I think that helps us too, as a team here, so they realize this is just not us asking these questions.
I ask one more procedural question. I'm asking Carly 50 questions today. Procedurally, in order to meet the deadline of September 30, the 22nd is a Tuesday. The budget stuff will have to start moving by the 22nd of September, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
In order to pass on the 29th, no later than.
Correct.
You know, I know we talked too about parts. You know, there may be parts of the budget, Mr. Chairman, that are very, very vanilla, that are pretty easy to say, this particular department, when they stand up there and present this to us, there is no issue with that. How do we, I would like to see us move certain things forward where if there's something, if there was something that was contentious, that doesn't hold up. We
I
move
can
things
do that.
forward as we go. Try to get some of these departments done where we know that, because usually there's probably 4 or 5 things that we will really probably, I don't want to say don't make sense, Carly, that's the wrong word. You look at this and you say, oh no, wait a minute, now that right there, we need to spend more time on this, right? A lot of it is pretty self-explanatory on some of the departments, I think it is, but I don't know how we can do that, Mr. Chairman, in a way that
We've
we
always
don't
done
hold,
that.
we don't hold things up.
We can always move the large chunks on up to the deck to be in the
To
starting
be ready,
blocks,
that's fine.
and reserve the time we need for the areas that need attention. So I don't see a problem with that.
I think that'll make things move
Mr.
quicker,
Holmes,
too.
is there any changes, and this, I'm not gonna give you the same leeway I gave the mayor, but be thinking, please, if there are any changes in regulatory oversight and environment that impact these decisions, particularly agency funding, we would appreciate any deep thought and advice.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
So we will see some agencies and we will have at least one work session.
Well, we're certainly gonna see the big agencies, and we'll talk internally. If y'all have got a special one you wanna, we'll work to get them on the finance committee. Just remember though, when we uncork that bottle, everybody's gonna get a shot. So we need to be judicious in doing that.
Okay.
Is there a motion to adjourn?